are
Oh my
you?
God, it's so good to see you. It's been
I know
so
you as well.
long.
It has
Gosh, you
like
look
4 or 5
gorgeous.
years. Thank you.
Yeah, yep. I was thinking today, when was the last time we were on stage together? And it was March of 2018 because that was when
Mhm.
I was invited to do the reunion and Farah had
Yes, it
quit the
was just
show.
you.
Remember? Yeah. And so
Mhm.
it was quite, I would say it was quite a moving experience because,
Yeah.
first of all, I had never been there all by myself before, but
Yeah.
I just remember how kind and nice you and Ryan were to me, and I really appreciated that.
You're so sweet. I always felt that way about you as well. Everybody was had their own, notions and stuff about me and especially Ryan, but you were always so kind. So I appreciate that as well.
Well, and I got
Oh,
to tell you,
yeah.
Ryan, just Ryan alone seemed to change and be so much happier once you came along. And I really appreciated that for him because I know what it's like to be in a bad relationship and you're just not having the best day, right?
Yeah,
We've
right.
all been there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when somebody comes into your life and you see a transformation, and I saw that in Ryan, and I thought, wow, he really cares about her. And so I thought, well, she's got to be a good person because, I he's just a kind, down to earth human being, right? And he wasn't
He's
trying to
just
play any games.
unapologetically him. Right.
And that's great.
I know. I admire that's one of the biggest things that I respect about him is that he's a little rough around the edges sometimes, but he is unapologetically him and he if he feels a certain way, there's not enough people that believe in what they're fighting for. And I respect that
Mhm.
about him. That he truly
And I
believes
respect
in
that.
yeah.
Right. And I respect that about you. So tell
Thank you.
me, since I've seen you last time, I know
Yeah.
that you're doing some cool stuff. So why don't you tell us about
Mhm.
what you're doing right now, how you're empowered as an overcomer, because I just want to say this real quickly, not to dwell on the past, but
Yeah.
I remember standing up on that stage with you at the reunion. And I remembered the pressure that you faced. I mean, I thought, geez, I'm so amazed at how calm you were. I mean, there were people, saying, oh, well, she's just a gold digger, right? Oh, she
Yeah.
just wants fame, right? Um,
Yeah.
so if the old naive Mackenzie who was standing up there on that stage that day was here today, what would you tell her?
Keep going. Don't back down just because, somebody wants you to do something or say something or go along with a story that they want to tell. Stand your ground, stand your truth, don't back down, even if you're going to have backlash, which you are, speaking to previous me, you're going to have the backlash, but to stay true to yourself and to your morals is such a huge deal that I just, that's what I wish I could have told myself then.
Yeah. Well, I will tell
So,
you, you held your head up high and you were elegant
uh,
through it. And what people don't realize is when we're on stage like that, the amount
mhm.
of pressure there is, and it is not a
So
fun
much pressure.
experience.
No. And you're being
And
grilled by Dr. Drew.
yeah, and they have
I
an
mean,
agenda, right?
they do. Yes, they do. Mhm. I absolutely. It makes me laugh because he wears those little earpieces, and every time he cocks his head like this, you always know you're about to get a really good question.
They're up there in the booth and they're saying, "Oh no, that's going way too nicely. Now you got to get mean. You got to
Yeah.
make some drama, right?"
Yes. Yes, it's
Now
all about the
tell me
drama.
something. A lot of people, when they sit at home and they watch us on TV, they think that, people will automatically, spontaneously cause drama, but that's really not the
Right.
case. The case is that there's a plan behind the scene that none of us really know about. So do you want to
Right.
talk a little bit about how you feel you were set up in one or two
Sure.
cases?
Sure. There was this time that they asked me to do a TRL, and it was when they were doing the late night shows. And I said that was fine, but who's going to be there? Because we were going through a really rough time with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Macy and them, and it was just really, um, we were just really butting heads at the time. And I just, for me, I just couldn't be a part of that anymore, and so they invited me to do the TRL, and they said it was going to be me and one other person, and I clarified, is anybody else going to be there? And they said no. And I said, okay, that's fine. And they said, but we want you to come. We don't want Ryan to come. And I was
Oh
like,
gosh, that's
you just have
sketchy.
that gut feeling. It is sketchy, and you have that gut feeling. And I just immediately was like,
Yeah.
no, not because I need some reassurance or need him to hold my hand, but when you're telling me that you want me to come by myself and we're in this kind of sticky situation, sketchy. So, anyways, a couple days go by, and I'm like, guys, I've changed my mind. I just don't feel right about it. I'm not going to do it. And they pushed and pushed and pushed. What can we do? What can we do? Nothing, guys. I said no. No means no. And they
Yeah.
said, well, they just kept on. And I didn't end up going. And when I saw the TRL, they were both there. And so I felt like I was really fixing to, yeah. And no, I don't do good like that under pressure or with I hate confrontation. I hate conflict. And I just felt like MTV was really pushing for some sort of, battle like that. And I just wasn't down for it.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. And then
Well,
the
good for
last time
you. That took courage. That took real courage.
it, it was almost just, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, guys. Like, I cannot do it, and I'm telling you no. And they're pushing you for
Yeah.
yes. And if we're in a society and know that no means no, why are you doing this? There's obviously like some sort of hidden agenda behind it.
Obviously. And you
Mhm.
know what happens every time you're put through a drill like that, because that's what it is. It's a drill. It's a
Mhm.
setup. Their ratings go higher. The
Yeah. They
tabloids
make
have more
money.
to talk about. Yeah, they
Yeah.
make money, but do you get a raise? Do you get a bump? Do you get
No.
anything? No. You can go to the grocery store and have people chase
Yeah.
you down in the aisle
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
tell you how
It's
you
always
should
at
behave.
Walmart. Yeah.
Walmart. Oh yeah. Yep,
Every time.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I've
tell
watched
me
them do
all
that
about
over
the
and
good
over.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me now about the good stuff. Since you're not on Teen Mom OG,
Mhm.
what are you doing? How have you empowered yourself now?
So when we were doing, just to backslide just a little bit, when we were doing Teen Mom and going through Ryan's addiction and just all the other million pounds of things that we were going through, I was very young and I didn't feel like I could even vocalize how I was feeling. I was just really
Mhm.
young and naive and confused and whatnot. And now I feel like I'm in a place where I can talk about my feelings and speak up for other people and be a positive light for others that are going through the same thing. The opioid epidemic is so bad in this country right now. And I know because of the messages that I get on social media, emails, that people are going through the very same thing, and theirs just isn't
Mhm.
broadcasting on TV. And so I'm using that
Right.
platform. I feel like God gave me this platform for a reason, and I'm going to use it for good. And so I am doing more podcasts and doing more community outreach for addiction. And then I had someone reach out and ask about the dangers of social media and talking to kids about how dangerous social media is in this day and age. You know, it's hard for us to handle as adults, but as a growing kid, a teenager, I can't even begin to imagine how someone would cope with that. You know, when I was growing up, we all we had to compare ourselves to were, Victoria's Secret models and their beautiful bouncy hair, and now we have Facetune and nothing, everything is a facade and it's scary, and so to be able to talk to kids about something that is so dangerous and you're just in a really bad way, really, for your mental health, I think is a big a big change. um, I was telling them the other day that, you know teen pregnancy education and extrasexlife.com was huge, and it was a big deal in the early 2000s. But now I feel like education about social media, education about drug awareness and stuff like that, I think that is equally as important now as the teen pregnancy conversation was then, if not more important.
Yeah, I would agree totally, 100%. And I think here's the big problem. It was bad enough that Ryan was going through his addiction problem, but then to put it on TV in such a way, I mean, the scene where he was driving and falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break. There should also be accountability on the network's part. And if they knew he was having that bad of a struggle, where the hell is their heart? And why would they put you and him in that kind of danger just to shoot a scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That
my
was really
husband,
hard.
is a doctor, and he
Mhm.
told me,
Yeah.
he said, Deborah, you cannot believe how we would have all these drug reps streaming in over the year, pushing
Yes.
all these opioids, pushing and pushing,
Yes.
and they were just handing out opioids like they were really, aspirins or candy. And he
Candy.
goes,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've never, ever written prescriptions for them because 9 times
Mhm.
out of 10, you can take a Tylenol and you don't
Right.
need
Yes.
anything strong. Yeah,
And a
exactly.
lot of
So,
addiction starts so innocent. It just starts with a simple
mhm.
prescription for a back pain or a injury or something, and it turns into a catastrophic event.
Yep. And there are people that just can't handle that. And a doctor should be, well, here's the thing behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know about is the drug reps get incentivized. They get trips if they get to sell more drugs, right? And so if they connect with a doctor and he's pushing the hell out of a certain drug, they get a new vacation or they
Uh-oh,
get a new
Deborah, I think I
trip
lost
of
you.
some sort with a family member or the doctor does. So, I mean, I'm glad that we're holding the medical people accountable now. And we should have done that a long time ago. These big pharmaceutical companies are kind of soulless. So they hurt people and they hurt people's lives. And I'm glad we're waking up to that fact. So, what do you see as your next cool thing as you're watching Teen Mom and this new generation of a program? What do you see? Oh, I've lost you, I guess. Uh oh. Mackenzie. I've lost her for a minute. Hopefully she'll be back here in just a second. We've got some kind of connection issues. And I know she had a power outage earlier.
Okay, you're back.
There you
Can you hear me?
are.
Yes, we're back.
I can
What's it
hear
feel?
you.
Okay, great.
Well, it's all these storm problems and things that are going on. I've got a satellite dish out here, and it's very cloudy today.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh no, no,
But
it's
I
fine.
wanted to ask you what your opinion is on something. I wanted to see if
Yeah.
we got the same idea. So,
Okay.
this new show, that they're kicking off, that's this
Mhm.
hybrid between Teen Mom and Teen Mom OG, and there's
Mhm.
only selecting certain girls, and some of the
Yeah.
girls are going to have to take pay cuts and this kind of thing. What do you think about the franchise and the state of the program at this point?
Um, I'll be honest with you, the past season I haven't really watched, but um I I look at it this way. I was told by a producer that we had a couple years ago when that idea was kind of thrown around, like, why don't we just combine everything? She said, look, I've been doing this a long time, and when you take a show that everybody knows and you change the character, you change the main character, the actor that's playing that character, the show tanks. So when you try to rework a
Yeah.
show that was once successful, it just doesn't work. So more power to them. I hope that it does for them, but that that's just that was from a spoken from a TV professional themselves. So
Yeah, and you know what? I 100% agree because the audience is confused. And what if your favorite character is no longer on there? What are you supposed to do?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You cut out for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you do? It's like a soap opera, right? You get
Yeah.
used to watching your character and
Yeah.
their story, and now they're gone. So what are you supposed to
Yes.
do? I mean,
Right.
it's crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you're invested, and watching something for so long, this has been going on for what seems like an eternity, and you switch
Yeah.
it up. So a lot of people don't like change.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll
Well,
just have to wait and see.
the kid, yeah, the kids are 13 now,
I
basically.
know.
And it's scary because they're almost ready to graduate from high school pretty quick. I mean, before you realize that that's what's going to be happening. So,
I know
has
it.
has Bentley got any ideas about what he wants to do?
That boy, he just loves sports, and he is just
Mhm.
living his sports life dream to the fullest right now.
He's always been so sweet, and he's really smart,
So
and
smart,
I've always
unbelievably
enjoyed
smart.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he is
and
precious,
he's very
sweet.
sweet. He
So,
is.
and
Yeah.
that's not something that you teach. That's something that is instilled in you from birth. And God, he is so sweet.
Yeah. He used to be on stage, and I remember when he was just a baby, and then he started walking, and then he would always ooh and ah over Farah, and he was like always transfixed by her. So it was kind of cute watching him grow up. And then it was cute watching Sophia, talk to him and try to mingle up with him a little
Yeah.
bit. So it was all cool. I enjoyed him very much. And I look and see him playing soccer or baseball or whatever the soup of the day is on the
Yeah.
sports. And he always looks so happy,
I mean,
always
that's his
happy.
place. Yeah, that is his happy place for sure is the sports field.
Cool, cool.
Hmm.
So let's get down to something interesting now. So
Okay.
Kale Lowry said she's not going to be on the show, the
Hmm.
new one
Good
going
for
forward.
her.
Did that did that surprise you at all?
Um, I mean, it didn't surprise me, but it also did not surprise me. But I think that that's awesome for somebody to have taken their opportunities and, be able to say, you know what? It's no longer working for me. It's no longer serving me in a good, positive way. I'm going to head out. I'm going to head out. I'm going to, continue with my other opportunities. I think that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it does. And here's the thing. Why put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, there you are.
There you
Am I
are.
am I
I
back?
keep
Okay.
I think it's all the weather problems.
Yes,
Anyway, I think she made a good decision because why put all
I
your
do too.
eggs in one basket when the boat's
Right.
sinking, right?
Right. I think that's awesome for her and her kids and really props to her because that's a hard thing, to walk away
Hmm.
just for the sole sake of the money factory. That's a big deal to walk away from. And so for her to be able to just
Right.
turn that into something positive and like I said, just say, "Hey, I'm going to head out. Guys, y'all take it easy."
Yeah.
You know.
Well, she'll have more freedom to tell her story, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, without having to come up with some plan for the show, she can tell it how she wants to tell it. So,
Right. Were
from
you hurt?
creative.
Were you hurt when? Yeah, exactly. Were you hurt when they told you and Ryan that you were no longer going to be on the show? Did that bother
I'll tell you,
you?
no, and here's why. So, we had been saying for a long time that I just feel like there's something better. I feel like there's more happiness. There's got to be a way of life that is just better than this, than what is happening now. And we both agreed that, like, how are you just supposed to say, I'm done, and bow out and just like turn the money down? Because it was great money. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's a hard thing to do, especially for your kids. You're giving them opportunities that you really wouldn't be able to do in the first place without it. And
Mhm.
so we said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pray and we're going to say the same prayer. And if God wants to take it away from us, he's just going to have to shut the door. And I promise you on Bible, the next day we got the phone call and we both kind of looked at each other and we were
Wow.
like, oh my, that's what was meant to
Yeah.
be. And so I don't think that you can be hurt or sad or anything like that when you know that that is the plan that is for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I think that that's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm really glad to hear that you prayed about it and that you have peace with it because what people don't realize that are sitting home watching television and saying, "Oh, take that job away from her. Kick her off the show or kick him off the show, whatever."
Yeah.
That's your income. That's how you
I
live
know.
and buy food, right?
Right.
And pay
Right.
for a house to live in. And
A
so for
house,
people to
school,
sit
cars.
back at their house like it's a sport, like it's a
Mhm.
football game, and just like, well, take it away, take it away. Well, how would they
Yeah.
like it if somebody took away their livelihood, right?
Yeah. But they don't see it as, they think that you're just exploiting yourself for free, and
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
But they also,
right.
it's a double-edged sword because those same people that are like, kick them off, they love to hate. So like you take away,
They do.
now what? Now what are you going to watch? A snooze fest, You took away
Yeah,
your fun hatred.
right. So that really underscores Teen Mom OG, that whole thing, right? So they hated
Yeah.
Farrah. Okay, Farrah's gone.
Hmm.
Okay. So then they hated Janelle. Okay, Janelle's gone. Okay.
I know.
Now what?
They have
Now
hated
what?
Ryan
Okay,
from
well
the
let's get
get-go.
yeah, let's get rid of Ryan. Okay. Okay, well what are you left
Hurrah!
with, people?
I know.
Yeah, yeah. And
People
everybody's
don't want
sitting
to
at
see
home,
normalcy.
armchair quarterbacks going, "Oh, we got
Yeah.
him kicked off the show." Well, not
But
really,
then now what?
but okay. They're off the show. And at the end of the day, what's the show about now, right? It's just hard to deal with when
Yeah.
all of the interesting aspects of the show go south. So let me
Right.
ask you
Right.
this question.
Okay.
Out of all the people on this show, who had the best wardrobe and who had the worst dressed on the whole show? Who would you pick? Your best and your worst?
Um. Oh, this one's a hard one. I think wardrobe choices. Chelsea definitely had the most attractive, flattering wardrobe. I felt like she made some
Mm-hmm.
really good wardrobe choices. And the worst, I think everybody could use a revamp, but I'm putting myself in there too. So it's not just singling out one person, but I think everybody could use a little umph when it comes to fashion, including me.
Well, here's what I found interesting. We always had a person for makeup,
Hmm.
right? And I missed that. I
Yeah.
loved having a
I know.
makeup person. That was great.
Yeah. That was
But
great.
when it came to wardrobe, and then I would ask for, hey, I need some wardrobe advice or I need some wardrobe help.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
nobody cared. It's like, oh hell, just anything, whatever.
I know. My first reunion, they had this huge room, racks and racks and racks of clothes, dresses, shoes everywhere. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like they're going to help us pick out what to wear. Never done this before a day in my life. So obviously I'm going to ask for help. And I dress like a 35-year-old business major, like, um, and so I was like, that's really cool. And the wardrobe lady comes around and she was like, can I help you steam anything? And I was like, oh, well, what about that room? Like, do you have anything better that you would suggest? She said, no, no, those are Nessa's clothes. And I was like, oh, must be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. And then they had all these hair pieces for Nessa. I walked in there one day and I'm like, oh, you got some hair pieces. And then I had brought some with me. And they're
Hmm.
like, oh, yeah, that's all for Nessa. And I'm like, well, what the hell is her contract like, right?
Must be good. Must be a good one.
Must be different than the rest of us got.
Yeah, the little
Oh my
peons down
gosh.
here.
Yeah. So tell me what's next for you. Do you think TV offers you a platform for your positive, empowering message, or do you feel that you have a different platform that suits you better?
I don't think TV is a place for me or for Ryan anymore. I think that ship has sailed. I'm not quite sure that I really have anything that interesting going on, besides just being a mom. And I'm good with that. But I think
Good.
that my that because of the show and because of TV, I do now have a platform on social media that I can promote positivity and encouragement and empowerment to other people. Um,
Mhm.
I think that has afforded me that opportunity. And so, what's next for me? I really just want to kind of deep dive and find out who I am and what makes me happy, as far as,
Yeah.
a job and a career. I want a career. I don't just want to have a job that's you know, just a job.
Right.
I really want to find that
Right.
place that is right for me. And um I'm going to keep on praying because as time goes on, doors keep being opened, and I kind of see my life going in a direction that I didn't quite expect, especially like I was talking about schools and being able to talk to kids and stuff. I would have never expected that, but I am finding that niche for myself.
Very nice. And that's
Hmm.
admirable because when you find your true gift and your purpose, you can
Yeah,
change the world.
I I
And
I
people
totally
can
believe
see,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and people can see in you that you love it and they believe in you then, and you have the power to help people overcome things and be
Right.
what they were created to be. So
I
that's
used
beautiful. I'm so glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed almost to a point of trying to convince people that like I'm not this bad person that you see on TV. I'm not this terrible individual, but it's almost transformed now to where it's like you can think what you want, but there is somebody out there that is going through something so similar. It's just not broadcasted for the world. And
Right.
what I'm saying is important. And I know, and the people that I meet know that I'm not this horrible, nasty human being, and um,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
God, so it's a lot better now than it was.
Yeah. I think I think what has happened is you learn to protect yourself almost
Mhm.
and say it's not okay for you to abuse me and say that I'm this or that. That's not
Mhm.
okay anymore.
Right, it's
And
not.
I
No.
remember I remember you standing up there with Ryan, and I just never forget that moment. It just was like etched in my mind, and I was just horrified. And part of me, I wanted to run over and say, "It'll be okay. It really
I
will be."
know. Yeah.
I, I, and then I'm over there sitting, going through my own hell. But we were all
Mhm.
going through hell together. And I think
Right.
that's a bond that nobody else can understand is that
Mhm.
TV looks like it's this wonderful, oh, hey, you make all this money, you're up there, you're living the life, but it really isn't. It's a pound of flesh for every dollar that you get. You have to give
Absolutely.
something up to
Mhm.
get to
Absolutely.
that space. And
And that
I think they took a lot of liberty with people's weaknesses and really overstated those weaknesses to make you feel really bad about yourself, you know?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I think the producers took liberty at taking people's weaknesses or their biggest
Oh, for
challenges in
sure.
life and blowing it clear out of the water so that you just feel like you can't even hold your head up when you walk outside,
For sure,
you know.
absolutely. Yeah, we had several instances that we even were talking about the other day, looking back on like, they would say, "Oh, bring up a statement or a question. So, do you think that they're going to do this or they're going to do that?" And like, I don't know. It's never really crossed my mind, And then you as the person are thinking, "Oh my gosh, is that true? Do they really feel that way about me? Or is this
Yeah,
situation really happening right now?" And then,
yeah.
you know, was the situation real or was it fabricated by the production? Some things you'll just never know, I guess, and that's okay.
Yeah, and well, some things just don't matter because you know who you are, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Mhm.
And you just got to be confident in that. Even though you're standing in the grocery store or you're at Walmart and somebody comes up and
Yeah.
tells you how to run your life, right?
Yeah.
Well, now if you would do this, everything would work out better. Oh, okay, thank you.
What they don't know is I've probably tried it.
Uh, at least that and 10 other
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So I think I've seen some little commercials, commercial modeling that
Mhm.
you've been doing. And I think you've been doing a really good job on that. And
Thank
I could
you.
really see you doing more of that. Are you interested in doing that? Do you think that might fulfill a purpose in your life?
I'm so sorry. It just cut out.
Oh, I've
I'm so
seen you
sorry.
doing commercial modeling,
Uh-huh.
and I see that you do. I think you do very well at it. I think you're
Thank
just kind of
you.
like a natural. So
Oh,
do you
thank
see
you. That's
that as
very
something
sweet.
that you might do more of, in your future? Do you really want to do more of that?
Um, yeah, it's just kind of a little artistic outlet for me. Not everybody's gonna
Mhm.
love the outfit choices or whatever, but that's okay because I'm me and not everybody. So that's what
Right,
keeps things
right.
interesting. But yeah, it's just a fun little artistic venture for me. Like I said, just trying to find what like makes me happy, and I think that's a lot of
Good.
fun. So yeah.
That is. Discovering yourself is so, so important. And I think the other thing that's really important, and it sounds like you've got a really good handle on it, is to know that you're enough, right?
Right. Absolutely. Just for yourself.
And exactly, because
Yeah.
I know when I was growing up and going to school, and I just think women are under so much pressure, right?
Mhm. For
Look at
sure.
this, look at that, be this way, be that way. I was never happy that way, you know.
No.
And then
I'm just
and
gonna
then you
be
grow up.
myself.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
easier.
You grow up and you're miserable. Right, you're
Yeah.
miserable because you're running
Yeah.
around trying to make everybody happy, but you're not happy.
Exactly. And I think
Exactly.
that's a very sad point to be at where you wake up one day and you realize that you've been doing so much for everybody else and really none of it is to
Yeah.
make you happy. That's a really sad place to wake up and a really hard place to come out of, honestly.
Very hard. And I think it takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, I'm going to change this and I'm going to
Right.
make this better for me. And when you
Mhm.
make it better for you as a mom, you make it better for your children because your children see
I
that.
know. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I don't want them to grow up and
And
their memory of their mom is being miserable, because they can read the
right.
room. Children are so smart and so
Yeah.
intuitive and they pick up on all of those things even though you might try to hide it. They can really pick up on it. And so I definitely want them to wake up when they're older and say, "My mom was so happy. It didn't take a whole lot. It could be a date at Taco Bell, but she was so happy."
I
Just the
think
little
that's
things.
wonderful. I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful, actually. So tell me something. Has Ryan found a career that he feels happy in now? Does he have something that he loves doing now?
He loves doing metal fabrication and like kind of car modifications and mechanics. He is brilliant when it comes to mechanics and putting things together. And he has this very artistic talent of coming up with a design in his head, drawing it out on a sketch pad, and then turning it around on a software and making it. He showed me
Wow,
this
that's
one.
cool.
It's very cool. He showed me this one concept thing that he had come up with in his head, and I was
Yeah.
looking at it on paper, and I was like, "That's cool." And he handed it over to me. It was completely finished, and I was like, "Well, what is this? Like, where did you buy this? How did you find one that was already like made?" And he said, "No, I made that." And that is just so
Wow.
so him. He just gets into his own little element and
Wow.
very passionate about that.
That is cool. That is very
Yeah.
cool. It's it's too
Mhm.
bad he doesn't live next to us because I've always got my metal fabricators fixing things and making things.
Yeah, I know. Day late and a dollar
Uh,
short, right?
day late, $1 short. Oh my gosh! Well, I'm so excited. Maybe as he goes along, he can put up some photos, or you can, and share, some of these really cool creations. I think
Yeah,
that is
I mean,
so wonderful.
half of it I don't even know what I'm really looking at, but I know that it fits on another piece that connects this piece to make a whole. So,
Yeah. Are you there? There you go. You cut out on me. This satellite is just a problem. So, I just have like a couple more questions, and then
okay.
any question you want to ask me too is fine.
Okay.
Um, Hold on, you're reconnecting. There you go.
Technology,
I
so
have,
fun.
I know. It's just a problem. Next time I'll just come down and we'll just go out and have a chat.
Let's
That's what
do
we'll
it.
do.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm actually going to be down in Atlanta filming this month and then filming next month for a
Oh,
show.
wow. Really?
So
Can you
it's a
give any
Christian
details?
based show. So I
Okay.
won't be far from you. So hopefully
Yeah.
maybe we can connect. I would love
Yeah, that
that.
would be fun. Very fun.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There we go. Whoops. Now I've lost you.
This is just so crazy. Can you hear me?
There you are.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry about
okay.
that. Now I can hear you.
Totally okay.
Anyways, I'm going to be down your way in May and in June,
Okay.
and maybe we can connect up and do something fun. I would love
Yeah,
that.
that would be so fun.
Yeah. So just have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So tell us
Sure.
about your family, your children. How's everybody doing?
Oh, they are just growing like little weeds. All their little personalities are just starting to develop. Stella, our youngest, is 2, so she's starting to come out of that baby stage and just really be full force in her toddler years. She is in her terrible 2s. Jagger is in his terrible 3s at the same time, and
Oh my
they're
God.
giving me a run for my money for sure. And
So
then Hudson is 8.
what do you do to rejuvenate after chasing them around and doing so many mom things? What do you do to make yourself feel, not instead of drained, you feel like you have some
Mhm.
energy and you got your mind pulled together?
Honestly, working out is a big outlet for me, because it's just me and the weights, and I don't do a whole lot of cardio, so it's heavy lifting and really takes a lot of mind power and, you know, strength as well. But it's just, it's a
Right.
mind thing, and it's just such a release for me, and I'm able to relax, and it's just nobody else is there, just myself. And then once a week, Jen will keep them overnight. And so I'm able to really just kind of refocus, reset, do my laundry if I need to do it. I'm able to do all those things. And I'm really blessed to have a great support system.
Wow. I mean, that is really nice.
Yeah,
Really
so sweet.
wonderful. And
Yes.
how are they doing?
So good. So good. Jen retired. And so they are putting in a pool, and she is just out here living her best life.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
I
and
know,
and
I know
really,
all of this. It's been really stressful for them. I know that.
For sure. And I think the show being gone has just, it's honestly been a weight lifted off of everybody's shoulders. Everybody just feels like, oh, I can take a deep breath and whatever we're going through, like we can get through it, but not having that extra level of public opinion is amazing for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And what people don't realize is you go through it once in your life and you're being filmed.
Right.
And then
Mhm.
you go through it again because you have to sit down and watch it because you don't know how they're going to spin it, edit it,
Right.
you know, what they're
Mhm.
going to do. And then you go out in public and it's like you're going through it 3 and 4 times. And then there's like six,
Yes,
eight
you
month
can
time
never
lapse.
move forward. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
they're
And
harping
people
on
just
something.
don't realize.
No, or they're harping on something that happened when they weren't here months ago, and now we're reliving it and now we're having to, answer all these questions and explain it. And, some of those things you just don't know in that moment how you feel. You're just surviving and getting through it. And it's being turned into this drama fest. And I really have to say a lot of the things that they harped on, some were very big, but a lot of the things were little nitpicky stuff that really weren't that big of a
Yeah.
deal, that became a big deal because of the whole hoopla production.
Exactly. Well
Mhm.
said. And when you guys got married and they filmed that, did that
Yeah.
bother you to have your wedding and the way they did it? Did that bother you?
Yes, it was. I was so excited. I have been married before, and it was a disaster. And so, like, I felt like we were kind of out of the whole thing of, Ryan's really bad addiction. I mean, it was still his addiction. He's always going to be an addict, but we were kind of moving forward
Right.
and, getting help and whatnot, and on a positive track. And I was so happy because I had finally met someone and engaged and getting married to someone that I loved so much. And I felt like I was finally getting like my
Right.
happily ever after almost.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my parents worked so hard to pay for this wedding. They didn't do the show, so they have regular jobs and they worked so hard to pay for this wedding. And then to have it kind of portrayed like it was just like a really trash event and we were just, mad and fighting, and it just was kind of off-putting. And they were so adamant about having this camera here and here and in this little chapel that we got married in. The stage was kind of small, and so in all of my wedding pictures from the stage I have two cameramen, and I guess like that is a part of life to look back on. But that was such a special day to me that it was just kind of off-putting.
Yeah. I would agree. And
Yeah.
I watched all of it and I just thought, wow, the scrutiny of that, the pressure of that would have been really hard to put up with, knowing what you had gone through at that moment, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. We sat
But,
down.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, there was a lag.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, when we were getting ready that morning, one of the producers, I had never met her before, but she had actually worked for on Farah's side. And when we were getting ready, she said, "So, like, how does this wedding compare to like your other wedding to the other guy?" And I was like, oh my
Oh my
gosh! Like,
God.
all my bridesmaids were like, I cannot believe this
Yeah.
person just asked this. Like, what in the world? Like, it doesn't even compare. I was 17, and now I'm not. Like, this is not even in the same realm. Not the same category at all.
Boy, you talk about squashing your beautiful moment and your dream, right? I mean, that
Yeah,
really is, that's horrible. That's
right.
like ridiculous.
I know. I know.
Jeez. Well, now you know why Farrah probably didn't like her.
Yeah,
like
I'm
her.
sure it was probably some dumb question like that.
I'm sure Farah had a few choice words for her at some point. That's why she was over there,
You
you
know,
know.
I can imagine. Probably so.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't take much.
No.
So if you could just relive one moment of the show and do a redo on it to set the record straight,
Hmm.
what's the one moment that bugged you the most on that show that you felt like either you or you and Ryan were really improperly portrayed? And if you could set the record straight and do it again,
Sure.
what would it be?
I couldn't name just one specific moment, but just
There
honestly,
were too
towards the
many,
end, yeah, towards the end with the storyline
right?
about, counseling and him making his relationship better with Bentley and stuff. I really wish that people could have seen Ryan's heart behind it. It wasn't that he didn't want his child to receive counseling. It wasn't anything like that. It was that we knew
Yeah.
it was already in a contract that was given to us that this was how this was going to be for this season. This is what they were going to do, and he just wanted to hold on to that level of privacy. Not saying not get counseling, but not do it on television. You know, that's a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
private thing to go through. Um, and it's normal to do counseling, but when you're so young and, this is a very tricky situation and really trying
Oh,
to make things better, involving MTV is
yeah.
never going to make things better, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
I just so wish that going back, he could have said, or I'm sure he did say, but that they would have shown where he was saying, I'm putting my foot down not because I don't want to do counseling or not because I don't think it's beneficial, but because it's dramatized. This is for a storyline, and that's not right. And I'm still a dad, and I still care, and I still care about my son's emotions.
Yeah. 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 And I think they really blew that out of proportion and made it something it wasn't. Oh no, I've lost you again. Oh my goodness.
Okay, you're back. We're just going to have to talk this out at a restaurant.
I'm so sorry about this
It's okay.
technology.
No, do
It
not
just gave
apologize.
me it gave me nightmares to do this way, but thank God I'm doing it with you because you're so
Yeah,
I know
it's
you, so
really
I don't
okay.
have to feel so freaked
No,
out.
no,
But
no,
you
no,
know,
not at all.
I love I love that that is the thing that you'd want to redo because to me, it just knowing you guys too, I know that you would always have the best interest at heart for Bentley.
Yeah.
And he's such a great kid to begin with, and he's a deep feeling person.
Mhm.
So I think that's a really wise choice. And you would think, given the mental health focus of the show, right?
Mhm.
You would think that they would have been a lot more supportive of that. So
Right.
I just
I
really,
mean, you would
I
think, but
really feel, yeah,
Ryan
right,
went
exactly.
round and round and round with Larry, actually,
Yeah.
in our garage on the phone saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not signing, because I gave him a new contract. And that he said, I'm not signing this. Like, it was the first time ever, I think, that I had actually read through a contract from cover to cover, because it's like a whole,
Mm-hmm.
100 pages of hoopla to read through.
Right.
And I had read through it,
Right.
and there were all of these very oddly placed medical related questions, like, and releases to sign. And so I, went to him and showed him, and we both agreed, like, we're not going to sign this. And it was like a medical records request, and any sort of, and I still have the paperwork, so I can bring up the receipts if I need to. The
Oh yeah.
pa the paper, is talking about any doctor visited, any therapy visit, all of that is to be released to MTV for the HIPAA release. And Larry's trying to tell Ryan that's not how it works and stuff, but we're reading it on paper. Like, I am looking right here and it says I give full permission to authorize, MTV to receive all of these records and or producers or whatever. Like, that's not
Hmm.
okay. So, like, we're not going to
Right.
do that. And they said, well, we're not going to be able to continue your contract or to pay you
Right.
until
Right.
you sign this. And he was like, well, you
Right.
need to tell me what is going on. And they were like, no, no, it's just for future reference, and playing you like you're stupid. And that's a really big deal. And when you start using someone's
Mhm.
child, that
Yeah.
we have, that's a very big problem. I mean, and they should
Oh yeah.
think that that's a problem too.
Yeah. And they don't care if they ruin your relationships. They don't
No, no,
care.
no. It is
And
definitely
actually,
not a show to foster a relationship.
right. And actually, that's what they did. They tried to pit Farah and I against each other. So I totally get it. And I
Yeah,
totally support what you did and what you're saying. And I think as a good mom, yeah, 100% that's the right choice you did. So
I'm
way to
always with
go.
any of our kids gonna side eye anybody, when in relation to my
Yeah.
kids. Like, you can't trust anyone. And I mean, those are my babies, and all four of them, like, those are our kids together. And mm-mm, no, not happening. Not on my watch.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mackenzie. I think you're
Thank you.
delightful. And
Oh,
I just
thank you.
want to
You're
tell you
precious.
thank you so much too for being a good mom and a good wife to Ryan. And I just want your dreams to come true together as a married couple, and I think you have a bright and beautiful career and future ahead of you guys for your families. So, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, Deb, I lost you for the
Let's try it again. Can you, okay, can you hear me now?
yes.
Hopefully. Are we
Yes,
good?
I can hear you. I cannot believe I lost you for that great part.
I tell you, this app just makes me nuts. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you thank you for being such a good wife and a good
Oh,
mother. Um, I think you and Ryan both have been through enough that I'm just so happy that you're blessed with each other. That is such a
thank you.
treasure.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And I just really appreciate you being so patient and doing this with me today. And I'm glad, I'm so glad that we've been there, we've done it, and now we're coming out the other side. So,
Absolutely. And I think we're better for it too.
oh, definitely. Absolutely. And more to come, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Woohoo! All
Never
right.
know
Well,
what's
thank
going to
you.
happen next. Thank you.
I
I'll
know
talk to you soon.
exactly. We've got a lot going on. So thank you. See you soon.
See ya.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.